Today is expected to be the hottest start to May on record for the UK, and that means trying to stay cool as possible, whether you're at school, at home, or especially at work.
Should we be working at all today? One HR company suggests bosses giving staff special Sundays off during heat waves. It would help boost morale. So we went out into the sun to speak to some people enjoying a break.
We don't get a lot of nice weather in the UK, so when we get it, we should enjoy it. We shouldn't be in offices.
As humans, I think it is good for mental health. And if it's paid, phenomenal. If not, then probably just a siesta, 2 hours.
If it's just too hot to work, then you can't work, can you?
I work at a pub, so if I closed and we didn't work, there'd be nowhere for people to go.
A country that doesn't have air conditioning all over the place, this might be a good idea.
Lindi Mngaza runs a social media agency and says, yes, it's too hot, everyone can go home. Former Dragon's Den star Richard Farleigh says that's a terrible idea for the economy. Lindi, your business can't survive if you just give people a day off because it's a little bit warm outside.
We're a young, dynamic, forward-thinking agency. I implore my staff to come in and be creative. For them to be the best version of themselves, they have to feel valued. Right. I offered my staff a day off. I said to my senior management team, it's going to be really hot tomorrow. Would you like a day off? They said, we can't. We've got way too much to do. Oh. So when you give people the power to be the best version of themselves, they will make the right decisions.
So you're having the day off and your staff aren't?
Well, I wouldn't call this a day off. I'm working it just like you.
You told me before we came on you were on a day off today.
Well, look, and the other thing is, we work so hard, and when you're in a creative industry, you have to be able to show up and have great energy. In order to do that, you need to feel valued, and you need to also have your downtime. I give my staff birthdays off, because I think it's important. Sometimes in the winter, if you need a duvet day and you've just split up with your boyfriend, I totally understand. But I would also expect you to turn up for events, work late, respond to captions in the evening. So it goes hand in hand. You can't chain people to their desks.
Richard, if Lindi had turned up on Dragon's Den and made this part of her pitch, what would you say?
I'm out. You know, I love this hot weather. In fact, I joke with my friends, it reminds me of Sydney.
Yeah,
in winter, right? So, all right, it's nearly 30, but it's a lovely idea, but it's not a good idea.
Well,
unfortunately.
It's a lovely idea, Richard, but factually correct. I'm a living, breathing example of it absolutely working.
OK, Richard, what do you think?
You're a sample of one.
What would this do to the economy?
The problem is we've learnt now, when you whack businesses, we all pay. So it's a nice idea for a couple of days or for, to think about, but we all pay. So we either pay in higher unemployment or higher costs or more taxes or higher government debt or even a lower pound.
How do we pay if Lindi, for her own business that she runs, allowing a Sunday off?
She's suggesting it for the whole UK economy, aren't you?
Well, what I'm saying is you have to use your professional judgment. Gone are the workhouses.
My professional judgment is I can't base it on a hot day. I've got everything planned for the day. I'm not a social media company. I'm a production company. I rely on everyone coming in. I'm a McDonald's restaurant. I'm relying to people coming in to serve food. I'm a hospital. I'm relying to people...
You're an ice cream company.
Yes.
I mean, imagine if they took the day off.
So the random part is terrible. That's really bad. And also, a lot of people might be cooler at work anyway. It's cooler in here than it is outside.
Richard, let's put this into perspective. What I'm saying is essentially often my staff have to work on weekends and work late. If there is a sunny day, I will allow you to have that day off. Obviously, doctors and nurses and different professions don't have that luxury.
Yeah, well, we're backing off a little bit from the idea, but what you're talking about is flexible working arrangements, which, of course, can be a good idea. There's nothing wrong with that.
So you are agreeing with me?
Having a day off because of the thermometer is not a sound policy.
Well, we have very few sunny days in the UK, so you have to seize them when they're there. And also, what I did say earlier is I offered my senior management team a day off and they refused because they wanted to do their job and do it well. So I think, actually, to implore people to be the best person they can be, you have to empower them.
We asked you, should staff be given the day off work during a heat wave? 46% said yes. 54% agree with you, Richard, and said no. This couple of weeks has a number of bank holidays in it anyway, doesn't it?
Yes.
And does that impact work
well, you know,
work
it's kind of, you know, maybe it's nice to have 2 bank holidays in a row, so you get that nice little break. So I don't know if that's the argument. I don't like the weather part of it, where it's random. You don't get any notice. It just gets warm one day and you take the day off. It's also another day off at any time of the year, costs the UK economy £2-3 billion. Who pays for that? And my argument is we all pay for it. It's nice to think. And right now, the business confidence, consumer confidence is very low. Businesses are really struggling. And if you put another effective tax on them, there'll be chaos.
Not everybody has bank holidays off, and I do think it's important that actually you allow people to work when they can do their best work.
Debbie says, get a grip. It's 34 degrees here in Dubai at 8:55. Everyone works just fine without having to boost morale because it's a tad warm. So there we are. That is the view from Dubai.
Yeah, and Darren says, spare a thought for the pupils at school. His son has to wear a blazer in the classroom, not allowed to remove it in this heat.
That's stupid.
How do they expect to get the best out of students? Yeah, I think we can all agree, kids, it's tough.